Hello and welcome to this series touring the uniforms of the Empire. This time, Ostland. Black and white, high contrast, two completely opposite colours with bright red touches. Let's go. I've base coated my model with grey Seer, as I'll use this as the base for the white parts of the scheme, but I'm going to paint the black fabric first. It's easier to touch up any overspills with grey Seer than if I've already finished painting the white. First, I simply paint certain areas with Abaddon Black. I'm going for a quartered scheme on this model. As this model has some slashes on the sleeves, I alternate these two for more visual contrast. Keep your paint nice and thin, and you might need to apply a second layer for a solid finish. Now, the trick to a really interesting black is that the majority should actually be a dark grey. I mix equal parts Eshin Grey and Abaddon Black, and apply this to the majority of the fabric, but thinking especially of the upper surfaces facing the light. You could also use Corax Black here if you want. The deepest recesses remain pure black. Then, I thin Eshin Grey to a glaze, and cover a smaller area to emphasise the upper surfaces even more. And for the majority of the fabric, that's as bright as I'm going. With Dawnstone, I highlight the seams, folds and creases. If you want to accentuate any folds further, you can apply slightly thinner edge highlights with a 1-to-1 mix of Dawnstone and grey Seer. And finally, to really make the black pop, I take grey Seer and spot highlight the most extreme points. Be really sparing with this, less is more. And with that we have a really interesting black with some depth. Now onto the white. The trick here is that you're actually working with grey for most of the time, reserving pure white only for the final edge highlights. So, over the base coat I paint Ulthuan Grey, leaving grey Seer in the recesses. Next, I apply Corax White onto the upper surfaces facing the light, leaving Ulthuan Grey on the undersides. This will give us a nice gradient and suggest some light falling on the upper parts of the cloth. And finally, with White Scar, I edge highlight the creases, folds, and emphasise the seams on the trousers. And with that we have the classic domino colour scheme of Ostland. But what really brings this scheme to life are the red accents. So, with Khorne Red, I pick out any tassels or other decoration on the uniform. With Evil Sunz Scarlet, I paint broad highlights on the raised areas, leaving the recesses shaded. And finally, I apply spot highlights with Wild Rider Red. I don't want to go any more orange than this because Ostland is still quite a rich blood red. If your model has a shield, you can do the same thing on the design, working up from Khorne Red. Here, however, I really want to draw the eye, so I apply one final, even smaller spot highlight of Trollslayer Orange to really make the red pop. And there we are. All that's left now is to paint the rest of the model, like so. If you want to know how I painted these parts, you can check out my previous series on Empire Militia, linked here and in the description below. I really hope you enjoyed this quick tip. All that remains now is to thank my members. Your support really means so much. Please do consider becoming a member yourself if you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe to be notified when my next video drops, or suggest what you'd like to see me paint next. I'll see you next time, and until then, happy painting.